Scenes are a huge part of Ecamm, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Honestly, this is for me what makes Ecamm such a game changer. It's so different from any of the other online platforms that you can live stream from. What are they? So really, I consider this to be very much, and I've kind of grown with this in fairness over the years of using Ecamm. I used to originally just set up scenes for different types of things that I was trying to do in the live. So this would be a scene of me talking to camera. Sharing my screen would be another scene. Playing a video would be another scene. And I would kind of, originally I would randomly jump around a bit between them. Now what I tend to use it for is like a storyboard for my live. So if I'm doing like a presentation type live, maybe like a webinar style, I want to have an intro countdown. That's the first thing that'll come up. Then I want to cut it to me talking on here. Then maybe I've got some bullet points that I want to bring up, or I want to share a screen or demo something. Maybe I've got a testimonial I want to bring in. Maybe there's a sales page to link to. So actually, it helps me to plan ahead and to get organized and to just go, right, what do I need to do? In the same way that you might put together a PowerPoint presentation if you were on stage somewhere. So let me jump in, show you this, and you can apply it and see how you can use it. So how do you access your scenes? Now you're going to hear me keep saying that your screen will look different than this. If, for instance, you've got these things turned off at the minute, how do you even get into scenes? Well, right at the top here is one way to get in, and it says Show Scenes window. You could also come over to your window over here, and you could find scenes, or as you can see, there's a shortcut key to bring it in. And straight away, you're going to just have default scene up here. And as you've already seen, you can change it from the camera to screen share to a video clip by going along these. Let me just set this out as if I were about to do one of my weekly shows, and I'm going to run you through it and you can come along with me and have a look. Now, while I've already got me on camera here, what I tend to do is just put me in there at the top. So I know as I'm looking down this list afterwards, I need it to be logical and obvious that when I glance over there, I know exactly what this scene is. Now I can create a new scene by hitting plus, or I can clone this scene by hitting this next symbol across here. And I'm going to do that, and you'll see why in a minute. So I've got me. So I'm going to add a new scene in, and we're going to put intro. I can drag the order of these around. So the first thing we want is an intro. And if I just want to get a video, I've put a folder together over here. So you can either open up Finder to go off and find this file, or you could bring in your video clip from this area here. All I'm going to do is drag this video over the front, let go of it. And because I'm bringing in a video, it's saying, do I want to bring this in as an animated overlay, or do I want it to play full screen with audio? In this case, we're going to play it full screen with audio. And here comes our intro video that we play at the start of our weekly lives in our Facebook group. Now, by default, Ecamm has suggested that I want a picture-in-picture down here. We'll see that in a minute, but for this one, I don't. So I just come over here to this little symbol on this player, turn it off, and now it is just going to play the video. And notice that because I've taken the picture-in-picture off, it's also muted my microphone. It's assuming that because I'm playing a video, I don't want to hear myself in the background. Now, what I can do is, this is our first scene. This is a 30-second little intro video that we play. And rather than getting to the end of it and then me having to click the next scene, again on this little overlay tab here, I can say, when video ends, go to next scene. So what you'll see is if we count this down a few seconds and then hit play, you'll notice in this scenes area at the top that it's going to move to the next scene. So let's just play out the last couple of seconds. And it automatically comes straight across to the next scene. My microphone is turned back on because we're in another scene now. And I'm ready to go. So I can literally just sit and let that countdown go, sit here waiting, knowing that it will automatically come straight into me afterwards. Okay, what else can we put in here? Well, maybe I want to share my screen. We can have this Ecamm window open. Now notice I'm starting to move around my desktop here because we're starting to look at actually getting into hosting and running a live. And I can jig things around. I can reduce the size of this. I can move the tabs around so that this works for me when I'm on a live. So maybe in this case, that's how I want to run it. I've got my comments sitting down here. In fact, I wouldn't really. Maybe I got my comments here, these different effects, camera effects, volume levels, things like that I want to keep open. But over here on the side is my screen. So I'm going to create a new scene and say screen share. And on this one, I'm selecting this middle tab for a screen share. And it will come in, and again, this little overlay says show current application. I want to say Google Chrome. So it's now selected my Chrome window. Again, it's brought in my picture-in-picture. If it comes up blank like that, it's because it thinks my phone's plugged in. I can change that around and I can stay picture-in-picture over the front of this screen share. Now I'll show you in another video how you can do this really well with green screen, so you can just be cut out in that bottom corner. Lots of other things that we can do with these picture-in-picture. I can totally change around the shape of this picture-in-picture. I can go round if I want to. I can choose where I want to be, what size I want to be. Super flexible. And again, I'm going to show you in another video how we can take this on a step further with camera overlays. But for now, we're going to leave it here. So I've gone from an intro video to me. And then when I'm ready to share my screen, I come down here. And maybe I say, actually, Ecamm page might be more obvious. And again, when I've finished on that one and I've talked about it, I want to come back to me talking to camera here. So you can see how I'm starting to, it's making me plan out my live, my presentation. Now, one thing I like to do is to create a scene that brings the comments in. Again, I'm going to show you a video on how to do this. So I'm going to call this one comments. And what I do is select screen share, but I'm going to say Ecamm live comments, and in it comes in here. Now, as it sits at the minute, it is locked in that position on screen and I can't move it around. Notice there's a little tick down here that says zoom to app window. If I untick that, it is now showing my whole desktop and the size of it there. But what I can do is I can actually hit the plus and minus on here on this comments and reactions, or I can scroll this in and out with a magic mouse if you've got one, or it could be doing this by pinching and squeezing with a trackpad. But I can increase the size of that, and now it'll let me move this around. So what I tend to do is to bring this up and put it over to the side of my screen here, and then I can grab myself, let's go square, tuck it up in that corner and bring that down. So I can actually sit myself alongside the comments. This is really good on a busy live when you've got a lot of comments coming through and it's just a quick way for you to go, oh, yeah, and you kind of acknowledging them, and people can see that they can see their own chat and they can see you acknowledging it. It's a great way to go. So we've got a video, it comes to me to talk. We've got our Ecamm page that we're looking at, comes back to me, comes over to the comments. So we could just keep going back to me in between it. I would keep cloning these. And so every time I want to come to something else and then back to me, so I'm always working down this sequence. Notice what I did there. To move these around, you can't grab it on the picture itself. You need to grab it on the text, and I can just hold it, move it up. I'm not releasing it. And then I can drop it. Just let go of the mouse when I'm ready and in place. Now, one of the things that I do as well is maybe on this top one, let's jump back up to this top one here, is I want to just bring my name in at the bottom. So we've got a little overlay that pops up with my name on. So again, I'm dragging this on that first scene, and it just comes up like this and says who I am. Now, if I just pause that before that goes, I don't want it to be as big as that. So I want it to sit down about here. And again, I can say, when it's finished, hide it. So we're going to come out of our intro now into this one, and it plays this little pop-up there with me, with my name on. Away that goes. But that won't come into these other scenes because I've only set it to that first one there. So can you see how powerful this is? If I were using BeLive or Restream or StreamYard or one of these other programs, I got to be doing this on the fly, really. I don't get a chance to queue this up in advance. I can do this now, and I could just use a shortcut key, command and forward on the arrow, and I could just be going down, creating a new scene every time I want. Maybe I want to bring up some notices or some steps, for instance. So maybe on this one, I want to bring in a text overlay. So I open up my overlays tab. I can hit on a text overlay. Let's pretend we're talking about Ecamm. Step 1, download Ecamm. And I can turn a background off if I want. And I can bring this in here, adjusting the sizes, adjusting the fonts, doing whatever I want. But if I've come from this one, and rather than me having multiple overlays and things within one scene, I just move to the next scene and know that when I click it, this is going to appear. So a really powerful way for you to use this. Bring on another one. Maybe I've got a testimonial video to share. Let's bring this below step 1. And I've got a video down here that, again, I just want to drag up and I want to play it as a video. I don't want to be on the front of it. And again, I do want it to go to the next scene when it's finished playing. Add a new scene. Going to be me again. This time I just started from scratch. Maybe I want to work through a worksheet with you on this one. Let's take this one. This is out of my YouTube Academy. And so we were saying step 1 actually there, weren't we? So maybe that could have tied in with this. So maybe I just jig this around because in my planning I'm changing things. So step 1 there said, what do you offer or teach? So I'm now down here into worksheet. And on this scene, this PDF that I've just dropped over the front here, look how I can click through this. Now in an upcoming video, you're going to see how we can really improve these overlays and do a much better job of this. But at its most basic level, we can bring in this PDF document and we can scroll through these pages, and it works really well. Okay, so you will find more, as I say, as we watch through these videos. You're going to see more and more things, but I just want you to see how, in principle, we're using scenes to really lay out our stories. Let me just bring another one so I'm not talking over the top of that. Let's bring that back under the worksheet and we're back to me. So we've just talked about the worksheet, and then I want to come back and talk to you over here. This is absolutely how I lay this out. And then a really cool feature in here is the fact that we can create a folder and demo presentation, and guess what? I can drag all of these now inside this. Notice the way that the blue line is either starts at the start of the tab or it indents it a bit like it would do in a document. So again, I've got to drag it from the name, and I can just drag all these over. If I'd have done the folder first, then it would have automatically placed all these inside it. But it's not hard. I'm just pulling them to the right so that when it pops up, they're all within that. Now look, I can close this down, and I've now put all of those inside a folder. Now I've just actually used this because I cleared out all my scenes because I wanted this to look as empty as possible when we're starting here in this tutorial. But as you can imagine, I've already got a whole load that I use. And so I can just go and grab one of these now. So my Ecamm Live Academy daily lives, I've got a folder for. I drop them on the center of here, and look, it's just brought in. You can see this is how I use this. My intro video, me and Owen branding, awards. Yeah, everything is in there. You can see the names of them: screen shares, Owen laptop, showreel video, outro. We use them. I've got folders for everything that we do. I do weekly calls into different groups, and I can go to that folder and I know that everything's queued up and ready to go. Fantastic. So that is just a taster up front really of what you can do with scenes. As you start looking at all these different overlays and things like that, you'll realize how you can pull those into scenes and Yeah, this is just really your introduction to it. Okay, so scenes are amazing. I absolutely love it. When you get your head around it, it's a game changer. It makes life so easy on your live. This is how we can do a one-man show, really, and pull off what a production team would have done before. So let me know in the comments what you think to this, any questions about it, any suggestions for it, and yeah, I'll see you in another video.